Hello, this is Heather Robinson, and this is my final project. It is a lesson plan for second graders. The content area is math, and we will be working on second grade level Common Core math strategies that help our students gain fluency with addition and subtraction. And the lesson plan involves students learning how to become familiar with their hundreds chart and how to skip count using a number line. And it's going to be based on place value, properties of operation, and the relationship with addition and subtraction. And this is a project for a class, so I don't actually have students learning with me today, but I will be pretending that the camera is the students, and it's very hard to see my chart, so I'm going to angle my camera so that you can see my whiteboard when I'm working on my whiteboard. And so we'll go ahead and get started. And so again, pretending like I have a classroom full of second grade kiddos. Hi, everybody. Okay. My attention getter, when Miss Heather says ready to rock, you guys say ready to roll, and then we zip it, lock it, put it in our pocket. If we have any questions, we need to raise our hands and wait to be called on. And we are going to become math maniacs today. Okay. So everybody needs to have on their desk their hundreds chart, their whiteboard pencil, and everybody gets their thinking cap on. And we are going to learn how to skip count on our hundreds charts first. Okay, ready to rock? Students say ready to roll. And we all go zip it, lock it, put it in our pocket, thinking caps on. And with our hundreds chart, I have a feeling because of the lighting, it's hard for you to see the numbers on the hundreds chart. For the sake of the lesson plan, what we're doing, students, is we are going to learn, knowing we know how to count by tens. We are going to use addition in our hundreds charts, how to solve problems such as 56 plus 20. So the first thing we need to do when we're looking at 56 plus 20 is we need to locate the biggest number, 56, on our hundreds chart. So in order to find 56, I'm going to look in my 50s. So this first column on your hundreds chart is a good indicator of where to find all of our numbers in 50. So if you find 51, you know you can go across that row to find 56. You're not going to find any numbers in the 50s in your 30s or your 20s or your 90s. You have to go to this first column every time and identify by place value your ones, your tens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. So count with me, class, okay? Using our hundreds chart, which column do we use as an indicator to find the numbers? Is it the last column? No, that's right, students. It's our very first column, and we have to remember our place value, our tens. We have our ones, then tens, 20s, 30s, say it with me. And so class would count, and we would go over that repetition a few times so that they could become more familiarized with quickly locating a number 1 through 100 on the hundreds chart. So back to the problem on the board. Once we have found 56 in the row of 50s, we are going to need to add 20 to 56. Every time you add a number, you are going to jump down a row on the hundreds chart. So when we go down one row from 56 to 66, we've added 10. But if you look at the place value of the number we're adding, it's a 20. That's 2 tens, so that's 2 jumps. So we go one jump to 66, second jump to 76. And we know that 56 plus 20 equals 76. Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to have a student give me a number between 1 and 100. John, give us a number. Awesome. 88 plus 10. Going to the first column on the hundreds chart, you're going to find the 80s. And there it is. And we go across the row to 88, and we circle 88. We're adding 10, so are we jumping down or are we jumping up? That's right, class. We are jumping down. And 88 plus 10 is 98. So we would go on a few more times with addition problems in the hundreds chart for repetition purposes in the lesson. Then I would have students work with their partner, because in my classroom, which I should have started explaining from the beginning, my students have a buddy. There's 2 desks with each other. So I would have them work together. One student would create the equation, one student would solve it, and they would switch back and forth. So there was peer interaction while I walked around in the room, helping reinforce the learning concept. Then we would use the hundreds chart for subtraction purposes. So we would gather the class again with our attention getter, ready to rock, students, and they say ready to roll. And then I say the same strategy we were using for addition, we can apply to subtraction, except every time we subtract by tens on our hundreds chart, instead of jumping down a row, we jump up a row. So let's all get familiar with jumping up. Jump up on your hundreds chart. So for example, we're going to do 46 minus 20. And everyone knows when we're looking for a number in the 40s, we go to the first column of numbers. Students, go ahead and tell me, which row am I looking for? Yes, that's correct, the 40s. So we find number 46. And this time, instead of jumping down because the numbers get bigger, we'd be adding, we're going to jump up because we're subtracting 20. And we have a 2 in our tens place value, which means 2 tens, 2 jumps on our hundreds chart. So we jump up to 36 to 26. 2 jumps represent subtracting 20 from 46, and it equals 26. And I would go over that a few times. We would do several problems with our hundreds chart. I would have students give me numbers. I would have students raise their hand if they knew the solution, so that we had peer interaction and class discussions. They would work in partners again. And then the next strategy would be getting students familiarized with how to skip count, creating their own line charts. So this would probably be a week-long lesson, with the final assessment being a quiz, but we would do a quiz review that they would do in class when they would take home. So they would get a chance to revisit strategies that weren't easily understood, and we could reinforce ideas, and we could use technology with math games online. We could use manipulatives in the classroom, hands-on, for different styles of learning, and have non-technical options for the students, like printouts, you know, the good old math printouts. Okay, so now we're going to be students. Back to my classroom. It's hard to do this with imaginary students, but it's actually easier because nobody's interrupting. So, you know, win some, lose some. So for number lines with Common Core Math, we are going to take the number 88 minus 36. So when you're working on a number line for this math strategy, I think I'm going to try and write that. I don't know why it's not showing up on the camera a little better, but I'll write maybe a little bigger. 88 minus 36. Okay? I think I can see it there. And so we're going to draw our own number line, students. And when we're doing subtraction, we always want to start with the smallest number. So students, is 88 smaller than 36, or is 36 smaller than 88? I would interact with the class. We would decide through discussion that 36 is the smallest number, and that's the first number we put on the number line. And now we all know how to skip count by 10. So from 36, our first big jump of 10 is going to take us to 46. But we have to get to 88. So let's add another 10. And that gets us to 56. We need another 10. We get to 66. And another 10. We get to 76. Another 10. And I get to 86. Now, put on the brakes. 86 is really close to 88. So I can't add another 10. So now I'm going to need to skip count by ones. So we're going to go 1, 87, 2, 88. And we will write 1 on top of the little jumps. So now what we have to add up is the number of jumps we made. So counting by tens, we did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50 jumps of 10, and then we did 2 ones. So 51, 52. So 88 minus 36 is 52. And that is the Common Core strategy for teaching the first steps to second graders of subtraction using a number line. And you're actually using addition to teach subtraction. So I'll do one more like that. And this concept is actually very challenging for students. So this would be a 2 or 3 day lesson plan in the classroom. Interacting with students, I would say someone choose a number between 100, 1 and 100, and I would let another student choose another number. We're going to say they selected the number 56 minus the number 42. So again, a class discussion, which number is smaller, 56 or 42. Through discussion, we would decide 42 is the smallest number. We would start with 42 on the number line. Our first jump of 10 would be 52. Oh, and the number is 56. So if I were to add another 10, that would take me to 62. And I would talk about how 62 is bigger than 56. So we have to put on the brakes after our first jump of 10. And we have to get from 52 to 56. So we're going to go 53, 54, 55, 56, counting by ones. Add our ones to those jumps. And now we know we have the difference between 56 and 42 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we know 56 minus 42 is 14. And sometimes the children get a little bit more excited when they can understand a challenge with bigger numbers that can intimidate them and when they're beginning to get proficiency with addition and subtraction. So let's try a bigger number. Let's take 100 and let's minus, let's say 72 from 100. Class discussion, which number is smallest? Always starting with our smallest number. That's the first number we put on our number line, 72. And we're going to start by jumping with our tens. And we're going to go 82, 92. Now, if I add another 10 to that, that's 102. So I got to put on the brakes right there. So I'm at 92. And now I need to get to 100. So I'm going to go jump by ones. 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Putting my ones on top of my jumps. Adding my numbers together, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I forgot to add one of the ones on those jumps. So, see, even Miss Heather can make a mistake. But as long as we have those math strategies going in for us, we can figure out the solutions. So 100 minus 72 is 28. And that is my Common Core math lesson strategy and lesson plan for my second grade students. And like I said, I would incorporate manipulatives, online options, peer review, peer working groups, and a lot of support for my students to make sure that they became math maniacs. Thank you so much for watching my math lesson plan.